For years in the modern era, the Premier League was dominated by this man.
But he will savor these moments.
He won 6 out of a possible 7 titles in the Premier League, including a treble in 2023, and set a record points tally to win the league in his second season at the club. Pep Guardiola's Manchester City team in just a few years became inevitable. But just like every superhero story, every beginning always had an end.
They play in this moment really fantastic football, both Liverpool and Man City.
When Ten Hag made this statement, I'm pretty sure he would have been referring to himself and his Manchester United team as being the ones to bring that era to an end, but instead, it was another bald guy. Arne Slot's Liverpool revolution in the current 2024-25 season is taking over Europe. They're top of the Premier League with a game in hand, top of the Champions League, and into the semi-finals of the Carabao Cup. Arne Slot's team is on incredible form this season, but if we place his teams side by side, it looks like a modification of something we have seen before.
It is true that I showed my players in recent years clips of Man City, of Pep Guardiola's teams.
That's what Pep is up against now, because the current guy doing a job in him is actually one of his admirers. Arne Slot doesn't hide his admiration for Pep.
The Barcelona team was, of course, they were great players as well.
He even admits he's been watching and studying Pep as far back as his Barcelona team. We're talking about the early 2010s. Arne Slot's admission of Barcelona and Lionel Messi never letting him down is something a vast majority of the football world would have been able to agree to. From 2008 to 2012, when Pep was manager, Barcelona played some of the most beautiful football the world had ever seen. It wasn't just about winning, but how they won. Quick passes, neat interplay, players who understood each other and the game, the spaces. You look at that Barcelona team and you realize the key guys, players like Messi, Xavi, Iniesta, Busquets, Dani Alves, it was never about physicality. Instead, these were players who just wanted to play football. It was everything. A proper team, a mixture of youth and experience. You add this with a young coach who, in terms of his ability, was way better than his mates twice his age, and Pep and Barcelona's tactics became a lesson for managers looking to understand the game. So, still on the question from earlier, the blueprint Arne Slot is using to dominate English football right now. Did he steal it from Pep and adopt it as his own? I mean, to be fair, there is evidence to suggest this might have been the case. To start with, both inherited good teams made them better. This image right here is Liverpool's inward transfers they made this season. Of the 2 players they signed, Georgi Mamardashvili and Federico Chiesa, only Chiesa is presently at the club. The Mamardashvili deal doesn't come into effect until the next season. Now the point with this is that Arne Slot has played the vast majority of the current season with Klopp's team. There hasn't been a need for him to go into the transfer market and get players, at least not yet. The same applies to Pep Guardiola too. The team he took over from Frank Rijkaard in 2008 already had the likes of Messi, Xavi, Iniesta, Victor Valdez, and Carlos Puyol. He came in and made the team better. With these two, it was simply about making the team understand the slight changes in tactics.
That the differences are not that big, so there are only small differences.
Arne Slot maintains that the reason he believes this current Liverpool team is able to buy into his idea, style, and how he wants his team to play is that the differences between himself and Klopp aren't that huge. So, once again, it's similar tactics that players were used to, but with a twist.
It was the first one, so it's difficult to arrive here and say, okay, you have to play in that way, in these different aspects, no? I arrived here as a coach, and all the people know that for me it's easier, but the difficulty is in the beginning, to start. And it was the boss, yeah, of course.
The same with Pep Guardiola too. He talks about Johan Cruyff as the beginning, the one who started it. What he's referring to in that context is Barcelona's idea of ball retention, possession. Under Johan Cruyff, Barcelona established an identity of being a team known for playing Cruyff's total football system. The tradition was passed down to managers even before Pep's arrival, and having played under the man himself, Pep took on the existing playbook and improved it. You could even argue that both teams have had incredible right wingers to work with. Mohamed Salah at Liverpool needs no introduction. The form he's been on for Slot's team this season has been remarkable. 19 goals and 15 assists in 25 games for Liverpool this season, more goal contributions than games played, and with Salah, it's not just the amount of goals or assists he gets, but how he gets them.
He plays right wing, plays on the right, comes in. He never plays it anywhere else. It's not like we got 100 goals playing up front.
You never see him coming. Pep Guardiola had the same thing at Barcelona. The version of Lionel Messi from 2009 to 2012 under Pep might be the most complete footballer the game has ever seen. From the attacking sense, there was no way to stop him. You could only pray he would have a bad game, which rarely happened. There were also other similarities to both teams. World-class center backs, but more importantly, leaders in the team. Van Dijk for Liverpool, Carles Puyol for Barcelona. Different playing styles, but very important figures in the dressing rooms nonetheless. In both teams as well, they had unexpected results early on in the season. Liverpool lost to Nottingham Forest at home, which remains to the date the team's only loss in all competitions. While for Pep's Barcelona, it didn't even start great. They lost their first game of the 2008-09 season to Numancia. Perhaps an underlying factor in both teams as well is a big result, which I'll let you know about soon, but first, Total Footy, we're trying to bring you proper content like this, and it takes a lot of effort from the team. On your part, all we need you to do is just hit that subscribe button to the channel and that's it. Okay, back to both teams now, and that underlying factor. They both beat Real Madrid to set a marker. Barcelona in the 2008-09 season did at home at the Nou Camp, but more importantly for Arne Slot and Liverpool, they finally got rid of a particular opponent this season.
McAllister! Oh, what a goal!
We're a pain in the ass for Liverpool.
Real Madrid. Even Arne Slot knows how much Real Madrid has cost Liverpool in the past. The Reds lost to them in the 2018 final, the 2022 Champions League final, got knocked out in the round of 16 by the same opponents last season, and in the quarterfinal stage in 2020-21. That's a lot of losses to Madrid. So now we know all this. Is Arne Slot stealing a page of Pep's book? Well, it isn't exactly like that. There's a lot of managers who admire Pep Guardiola.
I love Pep. I admire.
I always said that for me Pep is a genius.
Mikel Arteta, Enzo Maresca, even outside the Premier League too, Arne Slot falls into that category as he is one of them. But you see guys, the difference is here. While Slot does admire Pep, he's different. I want to take you back to what he said about himself and Klopp, that the differences between his style of play and Klopp's style aren't that many.
That the differences are not that big, so there are only small differences.
Does this mean he's more similar to Klopp than Pep then? Well, this is where it gets pretty interesting. In this case, you could term Arne Slot as the best of both worlds, a mixture of both managerial styles. If we look at how he's similar to Pep, Arne Slot is making established players look even better. Talked about Mohamed Salah's numbers a few minutes back, and the fact is the numbers the Egyptian is putting up, they're simply sensational. Salah's been playing on a different level ever since Slot arrived. The same with the likes of Virgil van Dijk, he looks even better. Trent Alexander-Arnold has become a better defender now. His tackling and positioning have improved. Luis Diaz finally knows where the goal is and how to put it in. Pluses like Cody Gakpo and Ryan Gravenberch in and out of the team under Klopp have upped their games with Slot. It's all-around improvement from almost all areas of the team, something we've come to associate with Pep's previous teams. There has been an argument in recent times that Pep Guardiola cannot succeed without a massive budget, which in reality is just off. At Bayern Munich, Pep was a success. You might be tempted to think otherwise, and that's because the main argument would be that he didn't win the Champions League there, but on a closer examination, Pep was incredible. Remember that incredible Robert Lewandowski record of 5 goals in 9 minutes? It was under Pep. He improved players at Bayern. The likes of Joshua Kimmich, Robert Lewandowski, and Thiago Alcantara became better versions of what they were, and on the league as a whole, Pep raised the standard. The required points tally to win the Bundesliga increased. 71 points in 2013-14, 79 points in 2014-15, 88 points in 2015-16. See that? Pep had raised the bar in Germany the same way he did in Spain with Barcelona, and even in England with Manchester City. Imagine finishing with 97 points and still not winning the league. That was Liverpool's reality in the 2018-19 season. For context, Chelsea won the league in the 2016-17 season with 95 points. All of this is just a big explainer of the fact that Pep Guardiola improves teams and the competition around him. So, with all the information in front of us, is Arne Slot copying Pep Guardiola then? No, he isn't. Instead, he's using Pep's tactics as the blueprint for his success.
People think that I think about the tactics boards, but that's the opposite of what is true. The most time where I think about football is how can I find a way to bring more energy in you.
He talks here about the risk factors involved in his game, about how people mistake him for tactics when in the meantime he's about the energy on the pitch. That's the aspect you can link him to Klopp with. Even the players know it's different now. Mohamed Salah speaks about Slot here, and he notes the major difference is the control.
I think we play kind of different football now. The manager now wants to control the ball all the time. With Jurgen, sometimes we just go counter press and just try to attack them all the time in their half. But here we need to control the game. Sometimes we slow the game down, but it's part of the plan. And yeah, that's a big difference.
Liverpool attempt to control the game now rather than attack constantly, and they're reaping the rewards now. They didn't get to the positions they are with Slot by accident. Top of the league, top of the Champions League, have beaten the likes of Real Madrid, Manchester City, Chelsea, and AC Milan all this season. That's proper football we are witnessing under Slot. Again, it's a mixture of two of the best managers the English league has seen in a long while. Arne Slot is really the best of both worlds. What do you guys think though? Is Arne Slot really that good? Or do you still believe he's just copying everything Guardiola does? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Total Footy as well.